Hey guys, it's Lego Maestro here, and welcome back to part 2 of this Hypixel Alert special. You know, it looks like a part 3 now, but anyway, you guys, this episode is going to be very, very different. This is going to include the interview with one of the owners of one of the top alt shops in Minecraft. Now, this interview is hard-hitting. It has a lot of exclusive info, so I hope you guys are excited for this. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here. Oh, one thing I can't forget before the interview gets started, you guys. Of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date on everything going on in the Hypixel network with this alt shop story and everything else, then make sure you subscribe with those notifications on so I can be your host, Lego Maestro, keeping you informed on everything going on in the Hypixel network. Guys, now it's time for the interview. So obviously Minecraft had a really huge announcement recently, saying that people are going to have to migrate their accounts over to Microsoft. The main question people are having right now is obviously, they're thinking about their own accounts, but in terms of like alt shops, like how do you think this will affect your shop?
So my shop is one of the larger, well-known ones. And that being said, we've put a lot of resources and make sure it's sustainable. I don't believe this update will put me out of business. However, I do know that Microsoft accounts are more difficult to get, and that does mean that prices will increase. Not just in my shop, but probably every shop. And getting alts for cheating, or even, for example, more reasonable purchases, like not wanting to pay the $26.95, it's everything's going to get more expensive.
I mean, the accounts are already $18 right now, right?
Yeah, through my shop, you get it for $18, whereas Microsoft Mojang is $26.95.
So it's 18. What do you expect it to go to?
To be honest, depending on how the changes go through, we might not be able to even sell those kinds of accounts anymore.
But the thing is, those accounts are the only ones that are going to be able to play on Hypixel because semi-full access and non-full access don't have email, so they can't be migrated.
Yeah, we're actually concerned about that a lot. It's even to the point where we're thinking account types like semi-full access, non-full access might not even exist after migration, and we'll have to do our own system for that.
You say your own system. What do you mean by that?
Like how people know alts as non-full access and semi-full access, there's probably just going to be one kind of alt across the board.
Right. If full access accounts basically are the only ones that are going to exist and the price is going to go up, how many people do you think are going to be buying alts?
I definitely think that it's going to be going way down. However, at the same time, I think that people will still be buying them. For example, games like Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege, the accounts cost something like $15 each, but you still have people buying accounts there, so it's definitely going to go way down.
Right. So, but I mean, in Minecraft, people buy accounts for like 30 cents each. We're talking 30 cents. It's always very cheap. And now it's going to be 18, even 20 something dollars. It's going to get closer to that amount. So will you be doing anything different on your shop?
Really, I think the only changes that are going to be happening to my shop is that we're probably going to have to get rid of the non-full access and the prices will change. But I think what's really going to change for the entire community of the account selling is probably the clients. They'll probably move more to ghost cheating where the accounts will last longer.
But like people who just buy tons of accounts to B-hop, have you heard of that? People that they just buy accounts, they B-hop, they get banned, rinse, repeat. How many of those people do you think there's going to be when the accounts are like $20 each now?
I probably hardly any. B-hopping might not even be a thing, just of how easy it is to get detected and banned. It's just not worth to spend $20 to B-hop for an hour.
Right. So that $20 is mostly going to go to people who are trying to ghost cheat now.
Ghost cheaters, yeah, competitive cheating, stuff like that. It's probably going to be all those. I mean, there might be some rich guy coming along, but I don't think you'll find those often.
Is that like a big part of your market of those people who buy like those 30-cent accounts?
Most of the purchases do come from people who play on Hypixel and just want to b-hop for an hour. They don't buy the $18 accounts just to b-hop. They want the cheap ones so that they can easily get new ones when they get banned.
So I heard from ThirtyVirus. He said word on the street is that alt shops have something planned for this update. Is there anything you've heard about that? Is that anything you've even heard of?
I'm not sure if I know exactly what he's talking about, but I do know that there's lots of people who make the crackers and the programs that used to get the alts. I know there's lots of people who are excited for the update, not for the reasons that it's going to be increased price, but for the reasons that new systems are exploitable usually. So there might be some easier ways to get alts.
But they'd have to hack full access accounts now.
They would. It's going to be much more difficult, but a lot of people are hoping it's not going to be impossible.
I mean, not to mention, if it's two-factor authentication, not only are they going to be accounts where you've got to know the email, but you're also now going to have to get into the two-factor. Like, it's going to be hard on top of hard.
It is going to be hard, but the good thing, I mean, not the good thing, but the saving grace in this is that with a game like Minecraft, usually not all of the people playing are going to be extremely old. So we predict that not many accounts will have two-factor, and hopefully it won't be that difficult.
But I mean, doesn't Microsoft automatically come with two-factor authentication, or was I wrong on that?
They offer it, but they don't require it.
And then how badly do you think this is going to affect businesses, not just yours, but in general alt shops with this new update?
In my opinion, which I'm trying to be unbiased as possible,
Sure.
It could very well go either way. And I'm sure you can see how it would be bad for business.
Right.
Lots less people buying. But on the other side, it could increase revenue. Because the number of cheaters will go down, yes.
Yep.
But people will be spending more money. So it could be good for the shops.
I mean, I guess if people are desperate enough to hack.
Yeah. However, I think in this scenario, they're just going to move on to different games.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Do you think it's going to stop hackers, this new update, on servers like Hypixel?
So Hypixel is pretty unique because it already has a pretty solid anti-cheat. On top of that, I think it's definitely going to curb the cheating problem a nice bit. Possibly not on game modes like Ranked, where there's a couple more ghost cheaters than on random game modes, but I think it's definitely going to go down across the board.
And lastly, how do you think this update is going to affect other alt shops?
So there's a lot of different shops. Some are much larger than others. Some are much smaller. I think probably the smaller shops will be closing their doors because they just won't be able to keep up with the demand. And at the same time, there are other shops who don't specifically sell Minecraft just because they're known for being the account type that's worth a couple of cents. They might start doing Minecraft when they know that the margins can't be higher now. I think bigger alt shops will start coming in.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, when the Minecraft accounts cost 3 pennies each, they're not really worth it. For example, you can get a Spotify or Netflix account for like $1. I think they're going to start coming in now that the Minecraft accounts are higher priced.
Because, I mean, they'd have to start taking the full access accounts because that's the only way to start doing it now.
Yeah, that does appear how it is going to be.
Basically the same way how you go after non-full access and semi-full access because those people don't have much protection on their account. That's the same way you'd have to go after people who don't have two-factor, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, unless there was some crazy exploit, it'd be basically impossible to get a two-factor authentication account, especially with random cracking. I mean, if you're doing a targeted, trying to steal something, it might be possible. There are ways you can social engineer two-factor, but it's definitely not going to be possible for just selling in the account shop.
Makes sense. Well, really appreciate your time. This is really stuff that I think people are going to be interested to hear about, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2021 with this new update.
It's great for everyone else.
Yeah, because for people like me who don't enjoy getting Skywars games ruined, I mean, you know, I'm on the easy end, to be honest, because Skywars games take like a minute to 2 minutes, but there's people who have games with Bhoppers in them that are Bed Wars games, right? That take 5-10 minutes long, 20 minutes. And worst of all, UHC games. People will get in deathmatch. They'll spend half an hour and have the best loot. Just like that, 30 cents account took them out and all their stats, win, everything down the drain.
It's going to be real good for the people who play on Hypixel and whatnot, just because there's going to be so many less cheaters. So when I was talking about how there might be new exploits, one thing I wrote down is that just a couple of weeks ago, there was an exploit that got patched. It was usable prior, but it was just found out like a couple of months ago, patched a couple of weeks ago. And basically what happened is the exploit was some flaw in the authentication system. It made cracking a lot easier. And I'm just thinking, if Mojang's had this in their system for years and years, there's probably going to be a way in for Microsoft.
I think the main concern for Hypixel players is not so much the closet cheaters because they don't even buy other accounts. Sometimes they just play on their main and they never get banned because they're closet cheating. The main thing I think people are concerned about are the Bhoppers.
So on my end, a lot of people, an unbelievable amount of people have been asking me what I'm going to be doing about it because obviously I have to do something or else they're not going to be able to have their hobby anymore. All I've been telling them is that we won't know what's going to actually happen until the update is here. We know what they're doing, but we don't know what it's going to actually look like until it gets here. So I definitely see some people move and shop. Some shops make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, so it's going to be real crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, some shops have 10 plus dedicated employees working for cracking, support, everything.
It's like a black market.
It really is. Minecraft alts are a multi-million-dollar industry.
That's insane.
Yeah, I would have never thought it before I got into it.
It only comes at the cost of taking people's accounts and their free time.
Yeah, I won't try and be a saint with you either. I know what I'm doing is wrong. I'm not a good guy. Obviously, I don't play Minecraft personally. I did at one point, but it just wasn't that fun for me. I just do the business. All right, so if that's all.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to take up much of your time. Thank you so much, man. Have a blessed day,
no
really.
problem. You too. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
See you, dude. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the interview. I truly hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, it is going to be a very exciting time in 2021. Hope you guys have a blessed day. And with this, Hypixel Alert now over 117,000 subscribers. And I'll see you next time.